Let me tell you about the phone call that changed everything. I'm Frank Morrison, 68 years old, former Marine and construction engineer. My wife Barbara died 2 years ago from cancer, and I've been living alone in the house we built together in Austin. My son Tyler and his wife Madison have been staying with me on and off since Tyler lost his IT job 6 months ago. Got fired from Sterling Financial for what they called unauthorized client transactions, basically stealing from retirement accounts to cover his gambling debts. So there I was last Tuesday night, finishing up some leftover meatloaf in my kitchen. Barbara's recipe, though mine never tastes quite right without her touch. The phone rang around 8 p.m. "Dad, how are you holding up?" Tyler's voice sounded warm, caring, made my chest tight with that mix of love and loneliness I've been carrying around. "You know me, son. Just finished dinner, about to watch the news." I didn't mention it was 3-day-old leftovers or that I'd been staring at Barbara's photo for the better part of an hour. "Are you eating enough? Madison showed you that grocery app, remember? You can order everything online now." "I'm eating plenty." I kept my voice light. "Had a little scare yesterday, though. Forgot to turn off the coffee pot burner. Good thing I smelled it burning." There was this pause. I could picture him getting that worried look, same crease between his eyebrows he got from his mother. But now I wonder if that pause was him calculating how to use my mistake against me. "Dad, maybe we should talk about getting someone to check on you more often." "I'm fine, Tyler. Really, how's Las Vegas treating you? When does your conference end?" "Oh, you know how these marketing seminars go. Should wrap up by next Friday." His voice carried that forced enthusiasm I'd been hearing more often lately. "Madison's networking with some potential clients while I sit through presentations. What he didn't tell me was that this conference was paid for with my credit card, the one I'd given him for emergencies 6 months ago. I'd been getting bills for $300 hotel charges, $800 dinners, and cash advances I figured were for job interviews. "Listen, Dad, I should probably go. We've got dinner with some investors." "Of course, son." "I love you. Love you too, Dad. Take care of yourself." I heard the click, then some rustling. Must have dropped the phone in his pocket, I figured, reaching to hang up. But then I heard voices coming through clear as day. "Tyler, you see how bad he's getting?" Madison's voice, but nothing like the sweet tone she uses with me. "He almost burned the house down yesterday. And did you see how confused he got about the grocery app?" My hand froze on the receiver. Felt like someone sucker punched me in the gut. "It's time, Madison." Tyler's voice, cold as ice. "He can't live alone anymore. Dad's becoming a real burden, and we both know it. The house has got to be worth 1.4, maybe 1.5 million in this market." Madison sounded like she was already spending the money. "Austin's exploding right now. Properties in his neighborhood are selling in days." "Exactly. We sell it, stick him in some decent nursing home, nothing too expensive, and we can finally pay off what I owe those guys." Tyler's voice got tighter. "That $180,000 isn't going away. And with the state investigation into my case, no financial firm in Texas will touch me." Madison actually laughed. "God, Tyler, you should see how grateful he gets just hearing from us. He has no clue what we're planning. The sooner we move, the better. Those offshore gambling sites aren't known for their patience, and if the state finds out about the other accounts I accessed..." His voice trailed off, but I heard enough. "How much time do we have?" "Maybe 2 months before the criminal charges come down. We need to be long gone by then, with Dad safely tucked away and the house money in our accounts." That's when the phone slipped out of my hands and crashed onto the hardwood floor I'd installed myself 25 years ago. Every board laid with my own hands, every nail driven while thinking about our family's future. I sat there in my empty house, staring at Barbara's photo on the mantle. Criminal charges, offshore gambling sites. They weren't just planning to steal my house. Tyler was running from serious legal trouble and planned to use me as cover. Here's what really got me. I'd put Tyler through University of Texas, $52,000, over 4 years. Worked double shifts, came home with concrete dust in my hair every night while Barbara rubbed my shoulders and helped me pay bills at this kitchen table. Paid for his wedding to Madison, $38,000 for 1 day, because she just had to have her dream wedding at the Four Seasons. When Tyler lost his job, I let them move back in rent-free, never charged them a dime. Covered their BMW payments when money got tight, $847 a month I've been paying for 6 months. Just last month I dropped $4,200 to fix Madison's transmission when it went out. And the whole time, Tyler was stealing from his clients' retirement accounts to feed his gambling addiction and planning to warehouse me so he could steal my life's work to pay his debts. They thought I was some confused old man who'd be grateful for any attention they threw my way. They figured I was ready to be managed and discarded while they spent my house money on gambling debts and getaway plans. But here's the thing about Marines. We don't give up without a fight. And here's the thing about construction engineers. We know how to plan carefully and execute perfectly. I walked to my workshop in the garage, looking at all the tools Tyler kept eyeing. My DeWalt cabinet saw worth $200, the complete snap-on toolbox that cost more than most people's cars, the vintage Craftsman drill press I'd restored myself. He'd mentioned several times how much he'd love to inherit my workshop setup. Guess he figured he'd be getting it all pretty soon. Time to show my son that this old Marine still had some fight left in him. So Wednesday morning, I'm sitting in Robert Patterson's office on Congress Avenue, telling him the whole story. Robert's about 55, gray at the temples, the kind of lawyer who deals with real people's problems instead of corporate nonsense. His consultation fee is $500. Steep, but this isn't the time to cut corners. Frank, I remember you and Barbara from a few years back. Sorry for your loss. Thanks, Robert. I need to talk about my son and daughter-in-law, and it's urgent. I laid it all out for him. The phone call, Tyler's gambling debts, the criminal investigation he's running from, their plan to warehouse me and steal my house. Robert just listened, taking notes, his expression getting grimmer when I got to the part about Tyler accessing client retirement accounts. Unfortunately, Frank, elder financial abuse by family members is more common than people think. But the criminal element here makes this complicated. What do you mean? If your son is under investigation for securities fraud, any large financial transactions could be scrutinized. We need to move carefully but quickly. That got my attention. Can they stop me from selling my own house? Let's start with basics. The house is titled in your name only since Barbara passed? That's right. Joint ownership transferred to me when she died. Then your son has zero legal claim to your property. But Frank, if he's facing criminal charges, there might be attempts to freeze assets, claim undue influence, or challenge your mental capacity. Robert pulled out a legal pad and started making notes. We need to establish clearly that you're acting independently, of sound mind, and for your own protection. So if I wanted to sell quickly, Austin's market is incredible right now. Properties in your neighborhood are selling within a week, often cash offers over asking. Robert paused. But Frank, even cash sales require title searches, inspections, legal documentation. We're looking at 8 to 10 days minimum, and that's if everything goes perfectly. I thought about Tyler's timeline, 2 months before criminal charges, back from Vegas next Friday. That gave me 10 days to execute everything. I built that house with my own hands, Robert. Every board, every nail, every detail. And Tyler's planning to steal it to pay gambling debts. I know exactly what I'm doing. Robert studied my face for a moment. I can have preliminary paperwork ready by tomorrow, but I'll need a complete mental competency evaluation to protect against any future challenges. Dr. Sarah Mitchell does court-approved assessments. She can see you this afternoon. Is that necessary? Frank, your son is about to face federal charges. If he claims you were manipulated or coerced into selling, we need ironclad documentation that you're acting freely and competently. We spent the next hour going over details. Market values, cash buyer networks, legal requirements. Robert explained the process would cost about $3,000 in legal fees, plus $800 for the competency evaluation. I can connect you with David Tucker at Tucker Properties. He specializes in quick sales and has investors ready for cash purchases. Walking to my truck, I felt my phone buzzing, Tyler's name on the screen. For the first time since his betrayal, I smiled. Ring, ring, ring. I could picture him in some Vegas casino, probably between gambling sessions, checking his watch, wondering why his grateful old dad wasn't jumping to answer. Let him wonder. That afternoon, I sat in Dr. Mitchell's office answering questions designed to prove I wasn't some confused old man being taken advantage of. Mr. Morrison, can you tell me why you're considering selling your house? My son Tyler owes $180,000 in gambling debts to offshore sites. He stole from client retirement accounts at his last job and is facing criminal charges. He and his wife plan to put me in a nursing home and sell my house to pay his debts and fund their escape. I'm selling it first to protect myself. Dr. Mitchell raised her eyebrows. That's quite detailed. How do you know about these debts? I overheard a phone conversation where they discussed their entire plan. Tyler mentioned the specific amount, the timeline for criminal charges, and their strategy for managing me. She asked about my military service, my engineering career, my financial understanding. After 2 hours of questions, she seemed satisfied. Mr. Morrison, you're clearly competent to make your own financial decisions. I'll have the written evaluation to your attorney by tomorrow morning. Thursday morning, David Tucker arrived at my house right on time. Professional guy, early 40s, tablet in hand and the confident bearing of someone who'd seen Austin's market explode. Mr. Morrison, Robert Patterson says you need a quick sale? That's right. How fast can these things actually happen? With the right property and cash buyers, I've closed deals in 8 days. What kind of timeline are you looking at? My son and daughter-in-law return from Vegas next Friday. I'd like this wrapped up before then. David's eyes sharpened with interest. Tell me about your house. I described it. 3,400 square feet, built in 1999, Cherry Creek area, all the custom work I'd done over the years. David walked through, taking photos, measuring, testing faucets with the thoroughness of someone who knew what buyers wanted. Mr. Morrison, this is exactly what my investor group hunts for. Original owner, exceptional maintenance, established neighborhood. He pulled out his tablet showing me recent sales. Similar houses selling for $1.3 to $1.5 million. Given the condition and custom features, I'm thinking $1.45 million. That should move fast while getting you top dollar. $1.45 million. I sat down in Barbara's old reading chair, that number spinning in my head. I have a cash buyer group that's been looking for exactly this, David continued. They pay cash, no financing. Delays, no repair negotiations. But even cash sales need title searches, inspections, documentation. We're looking at 8 business days minimum. What's the timeline look like? List today, buyers view tomorrow, offers by Friday, contracts Monday, close the following Tuesday. That puts us at 9 days total. I looked around the living room where Tyler had learned to walk, where Barbara and I had hosted 25 Christmases, where they'd planned to force me out so they could steal everything. Let's do it. David's professional mask slipped for just a second. Excellent choice. Let me call them right now. I watched him dial, heard him describe my place like he'd found buried treasure. When he hung up, he was grinning. They want to move forward immediately. I'll have listing contracts ready this afternoon, and we can start showing tomorrow. Friday morning, the house was officially on the market. By afternoon, David called with news. Frank, we've got 3 cash offers, all above asking. Highest is $1.52 million, and they can close Tuesday. Tyler and Madison would be back from Vegas in 6 days, expecting to find their grateful old father ready to be managed. Instead, they were going to discover their house was gone. The contracts were signed Monday morning at Robert Patterson's office. $1.52 million cash, closing set for Tuesday of next week. Just like that, 1247 Maple Street would belong to someone else in 8 days. Now came the tricky part, getting Tyler and Madison's stuff out without them knowing. I called Austin Moving and Storage that afternoon. I need to pack and move some belongings out of my house before I sell it. The owners are out of town. No problem, Mr. Morrison. When would you like us to come out? Tomorrow morning. It's 2 bedrooms worth of stuff, plus miscellaneous items throughout the house. The moving estimate came to $2,200 for packing and hauling everything to a 10x10 storage unit. Another $180 per month for storage fees. Small price to pay for the look on their faces when they realized their stuff was gone. Tuesday morning, 3 guys from Austin Moving showed up with boxes and packing materials. I walked them through Tyler and Madison's belongings. Clothes from the master bedroom closet, Madison's makeup collection that covered half the bathroom counter, Tyler's gaming setup in what used to be Barbara's sewing room. Pack everything that doesn't belong to me, I told the crew chief, a guy named Marcus, who looked like he'd moved plenty of people in a hurry. Clothes, electronics, personal items. Leave the furniture, that stays with the house. It took them 4 hours to pack everything. Tyler's expensive gaming computer, Madison's designer shoes, their wedding photos, even Tyler's lucky poker chips from his nightstand drawer. All of it boxed up and hauled away to storage unit number 47 at Congress Avenue Storage. Marcus handed me the storage contract and keys. Units paid through next month, Mr. Morrison. After that, They'll need to take over payments or we auction the contents. Perfect. Wednesday, I tackled the next phase, changing the locks. But this time, I did my research first. Called 3 different locksmiths to compare prices and get realistic timelines. Emergency lock change runs about $650 for a full house, said Eddie from AKA Emergency Locksmith. Front door, back door, garage entrance, deadbolts and door handles. I can be there Thursday afternoon. I also made another important call to Dr. Johnson, my family doctor for 15 years. Frank, good to hear from you. How are you holding up? I'm doing well, Doc. Actually, I need a favor. I'm making some major life changes, and I might need documentation that I'm mentally competent. Can you do a quick evaluation? Dr. Johnson chuckled. Frank, you're one of the sharpest 68-year-olds I know. But sure, come in Friday morning. I'll do a mini mental state exam and write a letter for your records. Thursday afternoon, Eddie showed up with his van full of hardware. Professional guy who'd clearly done this before. What's the situation, Mr. Morrison? Security concern? Family situation. Better safe than sorry. He nodded and got to work replacing all the locks. The new ones were silver instead of brass, more modern looking. They clicked different when tested, sharper, more secure. Here's your new keys, sir. 3 sets each. That's $650 total. I paid cash, knowing Tyler and Madison would discover those keys didn't work soon enough. Friday morning, I passed Dr. Johnson's mental evaluation with flying colors. Frank, your cognitive function is excellent. Memory, reasoning, decision-making all normal for your age. I'll have the letter ready this afternoon. That afternoon, I made my final preparation purchase. Spent 2 hours researching surveillance cameras online before settling on a wireless model disguised as a phone charger. $149 with overnight shipping, motion-activated, streams live video to my smartphone app. The engineering side of my brain appreciated the specs. 1080p resolution, 12-hour battery, Wi-Fi enabled, cloud storage backup. This wasn't some cheap spy gadget, it was serious surveillance equipment. Saturday, I found my new apartment. Sunset Manor wasn't fancy, but it was clean, safe, and designed for people my age. Golf course, community center, maintenance included. The furnished 1-bedroom was simple but comfortable. Move-in special this month, said Mrs. Johnson, the property manager. First month plus deposit, $3,200 total. When would you like to move in? Tomorrow. She raised her eyebrows but didn't ask questions. I signed the lease on the spot. Sunday morning, I loaded my personal belongings into my truck. Barbara's jewelry box, our wedding photos, her favorite cookbook with handwritten notes in the margins, the novel she'd been reading when she died, bookmark still on page 247, my engineering certificates, our important documents, the essentials of 45 years together. I left almost everything else. The furniture that told our story would go to the new owners. Let them make their own memories in the rooms Barbara and I had filled with love. That afternoon, I drove to my former house for the last time as the owner. Used my garage opener to park inside, avoiding curious neighbors. The surveillance camera setup took longer than expected. My engineering background helped, but getting the angle perfect required multiple tests. I positioned it by the front door outlet, camouflaged among my other charging cables, angled to capture anyone entering. The smartphone app worked perfectly. Crystal clear video, excellent audio pickup. I tested the motion detection by walking in and out of frame until I was satisfied it would record every moment of Tyler and Madison's return. Then came the final touch. My letter taped to the inside of the front door at eye level. Dear Tyler and Madison, I wrote in my careful engineer's handwriting. If you're reading this, my plan worked perfectly. I heard your Las Vegas phone conversation about putting me in a nursing home because I'm becoming a burden. I heard you discussing my $180,000 gambling debts and your timeline to escape criminal charges. Well, the house has been sold for $1.52 million cash. The money is safely in my new account where it will stay. I've moved somewhere I'm valued, not managed. Your belongings are in storage unit number 47 at Congress Avenue Storage. You have 30 days to claim them before auction. I gave you everything for 35 years. You repaid me by planning to warehouse me while you stole my life's work to pay gambling debts. Hope the lesson was worth it. Semper Fi, Dad. I locked the house with my old keys one final time, knowing Tyler and Madison's keys would no longer work. The camera was armed, battery charged, ready to capture their shock when they discovered what their burden had accomplished. Tuesday afternoon, closing day. Tyler and Madison would return Wednesday evening. The trap was set. Wednesday evening, my phone buzzed with motion detection at 6:15 p.m. Tyler's black SUV pulled into what used to be my driveway. I was sitting in my new apartment at Sunset Manor watching the live feed on my smartphone while eating dinner from my kitchenette. Tyler got out first, stretching after the drive from Vegas. Madison emerged from the passenger side, both pulling suitcases from the back. They looked tired but relaxed, probably thinking they'd had a successful trip planning their future with my money. Here we go. I watched them approach the front door, Tyler digging his keys from his pocket while Madison checked her phone. She was talking about something, gesturing with her free hand, probably discussing which nursing homes to visit next week. Tyler inserted his key into the lock. Nothing. The key wouldn't turn. He frowned, tried again, jiggling it with growing frustration. That's weird. My key's not working. Madison looked up from her phone, vacation mood shifting to concern. You mean it's not working? The lock won't turn. Maybe it's stuck? Tyler kept wrestling with the key, his voice getting tighter. Let me try the back door, Madison said, setting down her suitcase. I watched Tyler continue struggling while Madison disappeared around the side of the house. When she came back 4 minutes later, her face had gone pale. Tyler, the back door's locked too, and my key doesn't work either. Tyler stopped fighting with the lock and really looked at it for the first time. His financial training finally kicked in. Madison, these are brand new locks. Someone changed them. What? That's impossible. Dad doesn't even know any locksmiths. He can barely figure out his smartphone. These aren't the brass locks we've had for years. These are silver modern deadbolts. Tyler's voice was getting panicky. Someone changed every lock on this house. Madison pulled out her phone with shaking fingers. I'm calling Dad. She dialed my old landline, the number I'd disconnected Monday afternoon. After several rings, her face crumpled when it went to a disconnect message. The number's been disconnected, Tyler. Dad's phone is disconnected. That's when the real panic set in. Check that kitchen window, Tyler said, pointing to the one I'd deliberately left unlocked. I'll boost you up. I watched Madison climb through in her Vegas outfit, her business suit catching on the frame. She disappeared inside, and 2 minutes later, the front door opened from within. Tyler rushed in with their suitcases, and both of them stopped dead when they saw my white envelope taped to the door at eye level. This was the moment I'd been waiting for. Madison's hand trembled as she pulled down the envelope. I leaned forward in my apartment chair, phone clutched tight, watching their faces as she tore it open. Tyler read over her shoulder, and I watched their expressions change from confusion to shock to absolute horror. He sold the house. Madison's voice rose to a near shriek. Tyler, he sold our house. $1.52 million, Tyler read aloud, his voice cracking. He kept every penny. This can't be legal. Madison was crying now, her makeup streaking. He's not mentally competent. We can challenge this. With what lawyer? Tyler snapped, reality hitting him. I'm about to be indicted for securities fraud. No attorney wants anything to do with me. That's when Madison really lost it. Your gambling debts, Tyler. This is all because of your goddamn gambling. She was screaming now, months of suppressed anger boiling over. You stole from those people's retirement accounts. I borrowed against them. I was going to pay it back when my bets came in. $180,000, Tyler. You lost $180,000 of other people's money. Madison was pacing the living room like a caged animal. And now the FBI is investigating you. It's the SEC, not the FBI, Tyler said weakly. I don't care if it's the Girl Scouts. You're going to prison. Madison whirled on him. And now we have nowhere to live because your father outsmarted both of us. Tyler slumped into my old recliner, the same chair where I'd heard their betrayal 2 weeks ago. He heard everything. The phone call, the debts, the plan to put him away. How could he be so cruel? Madison whispered. The same way we were cruel when we called him a burden and planned to warehouse him, Tyler replied, some basic decency finally breaking through his panic. Our lease expires Friday, Tyler. We're going to be homeless in 2 days, then get another real estate job. Are you insane? My credit is destroyed because of your debts. No broker will touch me. And when word gets out that my husband is a felon... I watched Tyler's face crumble as the full scope of their situation hit him. No house, no inheritance, no income, and criminal charges pending. Storage unit number 47, Tyler read from my letter again. At least we can get our stuff. For 30 days before they auction it, Madison added bitterly. Just like he planned. I turned off the camera feed. I'd seen enough. Walking to my small kitchen, I opened a beer and sat by my window overlooking the Austin skyline. Somewhere across town, my son and his wife were learning what happens when you try to steal from a Marine. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number, probably Tyler trying to reach me. I deleted it without reading and powered off the phone. Tomorrow I'm driving to Johnson RV Sales to look at Class A motorhomes. Always wanted to see the country, and now I've got $152 million and all the time in the world. Tyler wanted me out of the way so he could steal my life's work and escape his gambling debts. Well, he got half his wish. I'm out of his way permanently. But instead of funding his escape, my house money will fund mine. Frank Morrison was hitting the road, and Tyler Morrison was hitting rock bottom. Semper Fi, son. Should have remembered that Marines don't retreat. We advance in a different direction. The war was over, and I'd won.